Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So from the title of this video, you already know what time it is. I'll be making chicken stew, egusi soup, ogbono soup, and vegetable soup. And guys, I made this all in one day. So I went ahead to wash and rinse my chicken properly. And then I cut up some onions I will be using to boil my chicken. And then I proceeded to blend some pepper for this. I put that in a pot, added my pepper, my ginger and garlic paste. I went in with some onions, thyme, curry, salt, some seasoning cubes. I gave that a good mix and allowed that to boil for a while and bring out its juice. So while that was boiling, I went ahead to rinse off my tomatoes. I had washed them prior to this already, so I just rinsed that off and proceeded to cut it into sizable pieces just so it could blend easily. So I got lots of fresh tomatoes because I wanted the stew to be much. So I did this in batches, but before then, I went to check on the chicken and added a little water just so I could have a nice quantity of broth for my stew. So I proceeded to blend my tomatoes. Some water to the blender, guys, just to help this blend more easily and efficiently. I repeated the process for the second and the third batches, add some water and blended that up. So I was done blending and I poured my puree into a bowl and I proceeded to prep my pepper for the stew. So for my pepper mix, I used tatashe, shombo, green bell pepper, and some scotch bonnet. So basically, I de-seed my peppers because I feel like the seed gives some bitter aftertaste to the stew. So just to be on the safe side, I de-seed all of them. I put that all up nice and with some water and I proceeded to blend my pepper mix. Normally I would cut my green bell pepper into nice chunks, but I just felt like having all of them in a mix. I poured that into a bowl and then I proceeded to check on my chicken and it was done boiling. I extracted my chicken broth and the next step was frying my chicken. I fried my chicken because I don't want it to break up into pieces in the stew. So I went in with my onions into my hot oil and I sauteed that for a while. And then I went in with my tomato paste. went in with my paste and I let that fry for quite a while because I want to remove the tanginess as much as I can from the paste. Then I went in with my fresh tomato puree. Give that a good stir, let that to boil for a while, and then I went in with my pepper mix. I proceeded to add my ingredients. Basically, my ginger and garlic paste, my bay leaves, thyme, curry, salt, a nice amount of crayfish, some seasoning cubes, and I did give that a good stir and allow that to boil for a while before I went in with my chicken broth. I let that boil for a while and then I added my fried chicken. After I added my chicken, I gave this a good stir and I let that boil for a while and proceeded to pack this up into storage plates. Guys, the aroma of this stew. Packed that up and it was ready to go into the freezer. Next was my egusi soup. So I was prepping my protein for the soup. For my protein, you can use any choice of protein, but for mine, I used fresh fish, stockfish, and blackfish. Now, my stockfish and my blackfish, I make sure I use hot water first on them because I feel like this helps to rinse out the impurities and stubborn dirt or preservatives if there is any. And I rinse them very well till the water turns clear. Look at that water, guys. So after the first step, I went ahead to debone the fish. For some weird reason, guys, I like to put the head of the blackfish. So I went ahead to debone the blackfish. Rinse that till the water ran clear. Yeah. For my secret ingredients, it's the yellow pepper. This pepper does something to egusi soup. You have to try it. So this was my prepped ingredients and I went ahead to cut my vegetable. Choice of vegetable was uziza leaf. You can use any. But for me, I prefer uziza leaves because it gives a nice taste to the soup and it doesn't crowd it all up. For my recipe, I like to put my egusi powder, add some water to get a nice paste. I removed my proteins from the pot and I went in with my red oil, sauteed some onions, so I went in with my egusi paste that I mixed up earlier. I fried this for a while in the oil because I like my egusi in lumps. I don't like it pasty. I let that fry for a while and then I went in with my protein stock. Whatever stock you used, this is the time to add it. Now I also added ogiri. If you know, you know. Lots of crayfish. Give that a good mix. I seasoned that to taste and then I added my protein. I also used periwinkle for this recipe, guys, because I feel like it adds some color to your soup. So yeah. And then I went in with my vegetable. I gave that a good mix and let that to boil for a while. This was a closer look and see how sumptuous this soup looks. You see, the vegetable is not so much and this is just how I like my egusi soup. Perfect. I proceeded to pack this up in my storage plates as usual. I shared up the proteins equally as desired. Repeated the process for each plate. And it was ready to go into the freezer. At this point, guys, my back was aching, but I was determined to do this. So this was my already prepped ingredients for my ogbono soup. So this was me going in with my meat and a little salt. I let that to boil for a while. Then I added my stockfish and mangala fish. So for my recipe or my process, I like to fry my ogbono a little in my hot oil. I feel like this helps bring out extra slime. Went in with my protein stock. I let that boil for a while and then I added my blended okra. I blend my okra because it brings out more slime in it too. And I want my ogbono soup as thick as possible. So I gave that a good mix and then I went in with my protein. Remember, you can use any protein of your choice, guys. But make sure to follow the steps because it's the real deal. You can switch up your proteins. I went in with lots and lots of crayfish, my pepper mix, my seasoning powder, my salt, and I also used a bit of periwinkle for this soup. I just like the color it adds to the soup. I let that boil for a while and I went in with my vegetable. Also, I used my uziza leaf That's my preferred leaf because it doesn't crowd up my soup. I mean, I'm not making vegetable soup, so you could use any vegetable of your choice, guys. Or this is my preference. I gave that a good mix and soup was ready to go. So as usual, I shared up the proteins and I packed that up nicely in my storage place. The Ogbono soup was looking good, guys, and it even tastes better. Trust me. So these were my prepped ingredients for my vegetable soup. Proceeded to boil up the proteins. Basically, for my vegetable soup, I used fresh fish, stockfish, blackfish, and some meat. I let that boil for a while and I brought out my fresh fish first because this breaks up easily, and the others, or put them up all in different plates because I'll be putting them at different intervals while making the soup. So you need to extract my broth or stock, whatever you call it. I was all done with that and I put in my oil in my pot. I left out a bit because you'll be needing it later. I sauteed that for a while and I went with my pepper mix, some crayfish. I gave that a good stir. I let that fry for a while. And my next step was to add my vegetable. So guys, for me, I blanched up my water leaves because I feel this reduces the water content because I don't want my vegetable soup or watery. You could decide to use yours as fresh as possible. I don't usually do this, but I decided to try out this style. So I let that boil for a while and I put in my meat stock. Season that up a bit. Give that a good mix. I let this simmer for a while. Then my meat, fish, stir that up. I covered that and let that to boil for a while. And I went in with my periwinkle. Guys, this adds something different to the soup. And I went in with my uziza leaves. Give that a good mix. Periwinkle just adds this spice, this extra color to your soup. And then I went in with my blanched ugu leaves, pumpkin leaves, whatever you know it as, and then I give this a good mix. I turned that properly and then I proceeded to add my fresh fish. I did this last because you know it breaks up easily, and then I left out oil. I added it now just to add more color to your soup. At At this point, guys, the aroma was heavenly. So I was done making the vegetable soup, and I packed that up nicely. So guys, for my meat stock, I was careful enough to control the quantity of water I've used, because vegetable soup, the veggies always find a way to bring out lots of water. So, well, my vegetable soup was looking nice. I mean, you also want it to have some moisture and a reasonable amount of water. So I went ahead to pack that up. So I cleaned up my space because I did a lot here. If you watched to this point, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Guys, look at my exhausted face. I was so tired, but I was happy that I succeeded. Bye guys.